Hi, everybody. It's Alan Fine, and I'm here with a good friend, Dondra Ritzenthaler, who is the Senior Vice President, Sales and Trade Support and Services for Celebrity Cruises. We are going to talk about a whole lot of things, especially how COVID-19 influences everything we do. And this is Insider Travel Report. Tell me, how are you doing? How are you? How are your family? What's it like? Where are you right now?
I'm at home, just like everybody else is, Alan. But you know what? I'm great. I have this philosophy in life that I am healthy. My kids are home. We're safe. And we're looking for the future. So I'm super fantastic.
So let's talk about Celebrity Cruises. In the operations right now, I mean, where are the ships? Where are the crews? What's that like?
Well, our ships are all parked. As you know, we did our global suspension starting in March, and now we've extended it through June 12th. And so our ships are safe, and they're in the water all over the world. And our crew, for the most part, our crew is home. There's been some crew that couldn't go home because there was no air service, and we're taking very good care of them on our ships around the world when they couldn't go home. And we see so many wonderful stories, Alan, on things that they're doing. The cast is entertaining them so that they can keep rehearsing, and the captains are delivering room service to our crew. So it's really kind of been a neat story on how well our crew is handling this. And so I'd love to share some of those stories with you in another time, because it's really cool. It's very inspirational to me, but our crew is good.
Wait, so you said, did I hear correctly, the captain was delivering some room service to the crew?
Yeah.
What a great
Captain
morale
Kate
thing.
in particular, Captain Kate, she's just precious. She literally is delivering coffee to all of the crew that's on board. She delivers it to their room to just, be a good teammate.
So when do you think, we don't have a crystal ball, but when do you think Celebrity might resume operations? I mean, between the CDC warnings and all that, what are we thinking?
Well, we stay very close to what the CDC is talking with us about, the World Health Organization. We talk to countries all over the world. We talk to ports all over the world. We listen to what our government says, and we see the sentiment and we see the cases. And we're blessed, and I would hope and pray that nobody would ever get COVID-19. But thank goodness we're at least starting to see it level off and start to go down some, and I'm so grateful for that. But all of those factors, Alan, are the factors that we use in determining when we come back in service. And honestly, right now the plan is June 12th. I don't think it will be a light switch. I think that we will come back slowly. Don't know exact plans yet because of all those things that I just told you. Those would all have to line up, and Lisa Lutoff-Perlo, our president, will ultimately make the final decision. But I'm very optimistic that we'll be back in the water really soon. I really genuinely am.
That's great. But of course, it's going to be different. How do you think it'll be different?
Well, I'm going to take you back on a journey. Do you remember, Alan, when 9/11 happened?
I've been using the same analogy. Let me hear yours.
But it's true, right? Before 9/11, we pulled up to the airport, we walked in, and we went straight to the gate. Now, some of us remember that, right? You and I can remember that. And then after 9/11, now it's the security and the bottles and all of the things that we have to do. And that has become very normal for us. And I think that the cruise industry and the whole hotel industry and the airline industry, I think we'll all have new normals. I think there will be new protocols that will be different. Things maybe like muster drills, or, times and places where people go have dinner and those types of things. Well, and I think testing will be a big deal too. You know what I mean? I think when the vaccine gets here, and I think we as a cruise line, and Richard Fain has come out with a video about a week ago, and he talked about, right? And Alan, don't you think he's right that testing is the key?
Also, well, I mean, I definitely, when you were talking about the airlines and all that, I definitely see getting on a plane, having my temperature taken, getting on a ship, having my temperature taken. That's going to be the norm.
Well, and there's all kinds of different ways to do that, right? I mean, there's some companies who have that infrared where you're just literally walking by. And it's not like you would have to stop and, Alan, let me see your forehead, right? I think that we're going to see technology and advancements happen to where people may be taking our temperature and we won't even know it.
All less invasive than my mom did when I was a kid.
And that I have done to my children.
Are we talking about the same thing?
Maybe not.
Maybe finally it got to the ear, the mouth and the ear. That's a better way to take temperature. But yeah, soon we won't even know. Let's talk about Celebrity Apex.
Yes.
Where is it now, and will there be a christening?
Absolutely. And thank you for asking about our beautiful Apex. She's so ready. We made history, Alan. I don't know if you know this, but we're the first time ever that a cruise line took delivery of a ship virtually. Never been done before. And I got a cute story on that, we all in our homes, we all had our own glass of champagne, and Richard Fain came with us a tie and a jacket and a white shirt, button-down shirt. And the owner of the shipyard said, Mr. Fain, I'm so impressed that you dressed up so much to take delivery of this beautiful ship. And Richard said, well, absolutely. It's the only way to go. But he pushed his chair back and he stood up and he had on Bermuda shorts. So we were really proud of that. That was a cool moment. But the best part was when the captain actually made the very first announcement, and this was all videoed and virtual. He made the very first announcement that the ship was Celebrity Cruises. And he teared up, I teared up, Lisa teared up, Richard teared up, everybody from their different cameras, all, it was so emotional to take delivery of that ship. And so now the crew is ready. She's just off the coast of France, and, they are continuing to train. Some of the crew have gone home, but when we do start, she will be ready to go, and I can tell you she's beautiful, and we're still going to do the christening, but it will most likely take place in the fall.
How are you working with travel advisors in terms of rebookings and cancellations and refunds? And have you been able to get them to postpone rather than to cancel? And how are you assisting the travel advisors?
So yes, we are highly motivating and incentivizing our travel advisors by telling them the value of giving the customer the confidence to book cruise with confidence and to use those future cruise credits and book them in the future. Because not only do they get 125% of the value of what they paid, right? So they get a 25% increase.
Oh, yeah.
And the travel advisor gets paid commission on the canceled sailing as well as the future cruise credit once they get the customer booked and it goes into final payment. So we're really motivating our travel advisors, and we want to do that because we want them healthy. So if we can pay on the canceled one and the future cruise one, that's
Great.
just more money for them, and we need them to be thriving, and we need them to be okay because the distribution channel is critical to the success of Celebrity Cruises.
But that dovetails in my next question is, what should the travel advisors be doing right now to connect with their clients for when they're ready to book cruises?
Well, let me tell you what I've been telling the travel advisors that I've been speaking with. It's a crawl, walk, run strategy. Right now, they need to crawl. And what I mean by that is pick up the phone and make personal phone calls. Tell the customer if their sailing has been canceled, why they should book it in the future. Stay very close to them. Talk to them, give them comfort, because that's what I'm calling the crawl stage, and that's where the travel advisors would be best served right now. And then walk, I think, is in another 3 or 4 weeks when we know we're getting ready to go back into service. I would say, start the social media, start doing some email campaigns, start asking for referrals, keep using the tools like Insight to know who's got a future cruise credit and keep convincing them. And then when we get back in the water and we're sailing, then I call that run, right? Because now using their national account or consortia or host or whatever they're partnering with, use their marketing, get heavy on referral programs, go in and make sure that all of your future cruise certificates have been redeemed, and tell them why. And if there's some cruise lines that are back and others are not, feel very comfortable to say, come with me, trust me. Because Alan, let me tell you, the most important thing that our travel advisors play now is that customers will want a third party endorsement more than they will want it from the cruise line itself. So our travel advisors are not only the experts, but they're the trusted travel advisor to that consumer. And when our travel advisors can say, I know Celebrity Cruises, I know what their protocols are now because we're going to give them those tools. I know that they're a company that I trust, and you should go on this amazing vacation. That's when the customer is going to feel confident to come back and cruise with us. And that's why we always will stand by our travel advisors, because we need each other.
Well, that again now dovetails into my next question is, so how can the travel advisors better work with Celebrity?
Well, to be honest with you, we're so blessed. We're so close to our travel advisors. We're staying close to them with videos and phone calls. We're encouraging them to make sure that they reach out to their sales rep, get the latest information, because we continue to enhance our policies to be easy to do business with, learn all the tools. If they're not an Expresso agent, they should learn Expresso. And then we have this tool called Insight that they really need to leverage, Alan, because Insight is a place on Cruising Power that they can go, and every guest that has a future cruise credit to their name that travel advisor booked, it's there. And so that's a hot lead. And so these are the types of things that they can do to make sure that they're thriving in these times.
And how would you have an advisor speak to a client about calming them about the CDC's rulings and things?
Well, to be honest with you, I think that it's a team effort. And the task force that I mentioned to you about, that Richard Bain is heading up with our brand presidents and our teams from hotel, marine, doctors, you name it. We've got this amazing task force going. It's incumbent upon us to give the tools to our travel advisors. Videos, one-pagers. What are we doing? What is our marketing message that's going to instill confidence? When we do that and we give those tools to our travel advisors, that is even going to enhance their ability to give that consumer confidence to get on back on the ship.
Yeah, let me get a little more specific. Are these materials showing the changes in policies? That's what I'm talking about. The cleaning and the new thought that Richard was talking about.
Yes, we are in the midst of putting those together.
Okay.
And what we want to do is, we're not as concerned about being first, we're concerned about being best. And so we have this task force, and we are going to give our travel advisors those incremental things. Now, Alan, we already have amazing protocols, and we're already a very safe organization and a safe cruise line, and we have great protocols in place already. But we do realize that in these unprecedented times, that we need to do more, and we need to communicate that. So in the next several weeks, we will be out with our travel advisors with these tools that will be very concrete, real, that will be able to help them instill confidence in our guests. And frankly, not only are they asking us of that, but they deserve that. And we will be partnering with them in that way, just like we do in every other way.
So Dondra, tell me about RCL Cares.
Alan, that's one of the things that I'm really proud of, is that, when the CARES Act passed and the president signed it into law now, 4 weeks ago? I can't even believe it's been that long already. Richard Bain and we all talked about the fact that, it was a very big document and it might be hard to navigate through and get overwhelming. So we as a company decided to establish and come out with RCL Cares. And what that is that's us going in and training our salespeople to really understand the 5 areas in the CARES Act that really was relevant to the travel advisors being able to get, a loan or money from the government to stimulate the business, to hold it over until our business starts. And I was so thrilled about that, because I care about these travel advisors. And let me tell you the coolest stat. So what it was 3 steps. They had to raise their hand and say, yes, I want help from our corporation. And then our salespeople were now trained and reached out to them and taught them how to work through this, and even an elevated desk of experts in case we needed more. Right now, we're up to 8,000 travel advisors that have taken advantage of us trying to navigate them through the CARES Act with RCL Cares. And I got to tell you, to me, that's walking the walk and talking the talk, Alan, and that makes me proud. And it lets the travel advisors know how real we are in hanging in there with them.
But also, you have an investment in these people, and they are learning about your product. And suddenly, can you imagine if they weren't there?
No, I need them there. Mm-hmm. It's funny, Brad, when Brad Tolkien, I saw your interview with Brad, and it was so good. It's really funny. Well, you're welcome. We are in this together with our travel advisors. They need us, but we need them. So we have to stay strong together right now. And that's why I think in every single way we can at Celebrity Cruises, we're staying as close to our travel advisors as we can. And that's why I'm so honored that you would allow me to come on your show.
And tell over 100,000 travel advisors that's what you're doing. Is there anything else you want them to know?
Well, I just want them to know that we're here and that we're in it together, and that just like Richard said, I really believe that calmer seas are ahead, and I don't think that they're that far away. I'm encouraged by everything I'm reading now with, the government letting us slowly open again and all the things that we're doing to be ready to go. And I cannot wait to get our beautiful ships in the water and for our travel advisors to sell it with the passion they always have.
Well, I look forward to seeing you again, maybe on Apex.
Oh, yeah. Count on it.
And so good luck to you. Stay safe. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Alan. It's always a pleasure.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.